want to get one more thing out there in regards to President Trump's plans for reopening the economy. He did announce that he would be meeting and kind of gauging the interests and ideas here from a few business leaders, as he calls them, across the board in terms of a great American economic revival, the plans here. And Barbara, just want to get your thoughts on kind of this political list he's established on the leaders that he'll be discussing plans with. Your take on that?
Well, picture the list. It's not a little list. It's 200 people, predominantly billionaires or at least millionaires. He's going to bring all these fat cats together and get their advice and their opinions on what he should do with the economy. It's going the wrong way. Imagine just even organizing something like that. It's basically the club that he always wanted to be a member of, the real billionaires club that he couldn't get in, and now he gets to run the show. Doesn't make any sense. What's needed now in a time of crisis, and is always needed in a time of crisis, is true leadership. Some guy making the shot, making the call as what has to be done. You don't turn around and ask 200 people and collect all these opinions, and it's really a vanity group. I just can't believe he would even waste the time doing it.
No, it's a good point when we talk about the way that the money is going to be distributed, because we keep talking about $2.2 trillion in terms of stimulus and where that's going, and the billions being applied to certain industries here, restaurants included, when we saw restaurant CEOs meeting with the president before this was all announced, and then the $350 billion that's likely to run out today when we think about the money going to small businesses as well. So there's a clear lobbying impact when we're thinking about how much this check is and the way that it's distributed. I mean, I guess that's politics. I guess that's the way things go, but I mean, it's not necessarily what you would want to see in terms of recovery and helping out Main Street through all of this.
You know what's the worst part about it is pits people against other people. It's like the big money grab. Who's going to get the money? What do I got to do? Oh, how do I fit in with everybody else? No, it's the wrong way to go. It should be very clear. It should be very even-handed, and it should be very obvious where the money is, really where the money is. Again, I'm going to believe that money I keep reading about the minute I see somebody get the money. I'm not seeing anybody get the money. And remember, Zach, I'm in a good position with a lot of entrepreneurs who have all applied for the money and nobody has it in hand. Pretty upsetting. I'm getting pretty annoyed about the whole thing. Wish I could do something about it, honestly. But I'm not giving them my money. No way.
Yeah, and we're seeing the same thing out when we talk about that drop in transactions. The National Association of Realtors last month said that home sales could fall by about 10% in the short term compared to what we're used to seeing at this time last year. So I don't know if that necessarily would be all that impactful, as you're talking about maybe fewer sales going through, and what the impact might be for housing prices. If you think about people potentially saying it's now a good time to buy a home, you still have interest rates at historic lows, but if more and more people aren't able to kind of compete to purchase your home, what that could mean here. So what's your take on those two things? And then also, if I could throw one more detail in here, we saw confidence among home builders plummet by the largest amount ever, stretching back 30 years when you look at the data to when they began tracking the data. So if you put all these things together, maybe less inventory out there on the market, what would be your advice to people potentially thinking about getting into real estate now?
You're talking about people buying a home. That's what you mean, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, right now we're seeing home sales drop. Off the short term.
Well, first of all, home sales have dropped, but along with the home sales dropping, and no surprise, you can't show a house. A broker can't show a house in most states, with a few exceptions. Buyers can't shop unless they want to commit to a house online, which ain't going to happen. Okay, and all the sellers are scared. More than 50% of the listings in most markets have been pulled off the market. Okay, you might say that's all bad news. The good news in that I see is that sellers have pulled their houses off the market, so it's shrunk the supply. That's going to help us recover when we turn the corner. Okay, absolutely. But for those brave people who are out and willing to shop, or still have just put their plans on hold, which are the great majority of people out there because they have no choice. The reality is when they come to the market, everybody's going to be in the market at the same time. They're going to pay more for the home than they're going to pay now. So the smartest home buyers out there should really be staying involved, knowing their local market, watching all the sales data, and actually shopping online, because then they're in the position to actually recognize a sweetheart deal when they see it. And if they pounce on it, they're going to get the deal of a lifetime. I can tell you that every real estate cycle that has gone up and down, the deals weren't made in the down cycles nor in the up cycles. They were always made in the times when there's greatest uncertainty, where everybody's guessing. And so if you're smart enough to attack the market in that way as an educated consumer and get out there and make a bid on a sweetheart deal, you're going to be the smartest guy that everybody's going to applaud you 6 months from now.
Team, subscribe for more of these type of videos.